Can dogs be nominated for Oscars? This has been a pretty inventive year for horror films, and 2025 keeps on giving. Good Boy is a new IFC Shudder release. Shudder, that horror streaming service, has been ushering in new filmmakers and new voices in horror for quite a few years. And this one is quite the new voice, or the new bark, depending on your perspective. Yes, this is the first horror film told from a dog's POV. And like Steven Soderbergh's Presence earlier this year, which was from the POV of a ghost, this changes the whole landscape of what a horror movie can be. And because of that, I'm here to tell you that this might be one of the best performances of the year, non-human edition. Good Boy is told from the perspective of Indy, a dog who has been with his owner through thick and thin. His owner Todd has recently fallen sick and decides to move into his old grandpa's house. Grandpa seemed to have gone insane and disappeared, so this house has a bit of a history, and it's a history that Indy immediately picks up on. Something just doesn't feel right in this place. Shadows linger a little too long. Noises are a little creepier. There seems to be some type of spectral presence. And Indy, being an animal on a different intuitive plane, well, he definitely intuits something, and that something is not good. This movie is the definition of an Indy. It's got a very DIY approach, and that approach from the director was to use his family dog as the main character in this horror film. Indy's performance is entirely created through the camera and editing. We know a dog can actually lead a movie. Dogs have characters and personalities, no doubt, and they can take directions, but movie directions, blocking directions, camera angle directions? I think not. Director Ben Leonberg puts us right in the action with Indy, keeping the camera low, relying on the dog's eyes, and relying on his audience. Because ultimately, it's the audience that creates this character within the dog and creates the whole story around him. And in that way, this is a very cool audience participation movie. Most of us humans just seem to identify with animals more than other humans. So when Indy seems in danger, well, it's very heightened, and it's a good way of building suspense. There's terrific use of space and shadow. Indy being smaller than humans, well, the director has to get crafty and put cameras in tight spaces. And that gives a fresh perspective to the haunted house movie, which this basically is. But a movie isn't always just about its filmmaking, it's about the story. And the story, because it's told from the dog's perspective, doesn't rely on exposition, which is very welcome. But that leaves a lot of holes and gaps into what's actually going on. And when it comes down to the true horror, it's not as well thought out, so we are left scratching our heads a little. This means as we're trying to empathize with Indy and enjoy this horror story, we're also playing catch up to what he's just seen, what he's just heard, what new piece of information we've been given. So by the end, when it's supposed to be this intimate emotional roller coaster, it's a little confusing on what the stakes are and what the danger actually is. Now, I'm someone who doesn't always want things spelled out for him, but seems like a horror movie with the simple premise that we see it through the dog's eyes should also have simplicity within its horror elements. And while it has the typical jump scares and things that go bump in the night and things peeking out in the frame, those are all good. It doesn't have that cleverness in its horror idea outside of we're following this dog. That being said, I appreciate indie filmmakers trying something new. This movie definitely does. And I appreciate a new star in the making, Indy, and I hope he makes many more films after this. Because no matter what ultimate opinion you have of this movie, Indy is a damn star. Good Boy is clever DIY horror filmmaking with an impressive canine performance in the lead. It's definitely not as strong with its horror mechanics, but it is worth seeing just because of that damn dog. He is just that good. So I'm giving Good Boy a soft recommendation of 3 out of 5 stars. If you like this review, please like and subscribe or follow me on Letterboxd at RamirezS316. I have a cat, and I'm trying to imagine what the cat POV horror movie would be. And all I can come up with is that cat would definitely help the demons.